Hey, y'all, this is Jessie with our latest episode of GunGals Live. We have a fun show planned for y'all and are excited to get to it. But first, let's run through our panel of lovely ladies. Tonight, we have Armintha. How's it going?
It was Friday. It's awesome. Yay. And I'm home. I'm good.
Yay, Fridays. We also have Stacey. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. And tonight, we also have Erin. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for having me.
We are so glad to have you. Thank you for joining us. So, if you would like to join the Gun Gals panel, we would love to have you. Shoot us an email at info@gun-gals.com for more info. Before we get started, we want to give a huge shout out to our awesome Patreon supporters, Clover Tack, Ghost Tactical, GA Trucker, Angry Hay Cutter, The Gun Snob, and Gizzard Gary. Thank you for your support to Gun Gals.
Thank you.
Cute.
To do what?
To run through this, girl.
All right. So, you guys, we met Erin. Well, I met Erin at NRA getting ready. Well, I was doing my homework actually for the fashion show because I didn't want to go into it not knowing anything. And so they had all the little flyers, I guess is what you would call them, with all of the models and information about them. And Erin was one of them. And I found it really interesting. And I had to look her up and see what she was about. And I actually listened to one of the videos that she had done. So, and I know I'm not going to say it right because I got told that you don't like being called part of the LGBT community.
Well, I mean, I don't mind. It's a mouthful. As you just demonstrated, it's difficult. It's a mouthful of consonants. I mean, I can say LGBTQ because I practiced it. And let me tell you, the way that I learned it is because I am a gigantic nerd. And so, if I can say Kayadi Mundi, Jedi Master, I can say LGBTQ. I mean, I literally did it like a Star Wars character. LGBTQ.
But, because I left the Q out.
Yes. Well, I think the Q is important. But, people have difficulty saying that. It's a mouthful. And so, well, there's that. And there's also the fact that there is this, in my mind, misguided drive towards more inclusion by adding a letter. And so, well, I don't feel like I'm adequately represented, so let me add another letter on here. Well, unfortunately, that means other people are going, well, I need a letter too. I need another letter. And we keep adding more letters and more people feel left out. Okay. I really like the word queer because it's an umbrella term. It covers everyone. You don't need to add anything to it. And it's an actual word. People know how to say it. It's one syllable. It just pops off the tongue. And so every time I hear someone struggling with LBGQT, it's like, just say queer, sweetheart. It's okay. I give you permission. And if anyone gives you any trouble over it, you send them to me and I'll set them straight. So all y'all, just go ahead and say queer. It's okay. We are reclaiming the word.
I was going to say, because I know I grew up not being, that was a bad word. You didn't say that.
Well, if the African-American community can reclaim the use of the N-word for their own internal use, then we can reclaim queer not only for our use, but for everyone to use.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that I found really interesting about you is that you became an activist. And it was because of an incident. Sorry, I can't get my words out. That happened. So you want to kind of tell us about that?
Well, what I think is interesting is that I became an activist by accident. I never planned for any of this to happen. And I joke that I've basically failed upwards the entire time. I don't know what I'm doing, but apparently I think on my feet quickly enough and well enough that I've done okay so far. So all of this was born as a result of the Pulse terror attacks, massacre, whatever you want to call it. It was terrible. And I don't want people ever to refer to it just as, the Pulse incident. No, it was a bad thing. Let's call it a bad thing. And the reason I fell into this is because for about 3 years prior, I had been out to my friends as queer. Well, actually, to my friends knew earlier, but just to the internet at large, I was out. And they knew that I lived in Florida, and that was pretty much the extent of what they knew. And so when they heard that a gay nightclub in Florida had been shot up, they went, "Oh, geez, was Erin there?" Because, if you're from out of state, you don't know where everything is. So Pulse is in Orlando, which is more or less smack dab in the middle of the state. And I'm in Daytona Beach, which is on the East Coast. It's about an hour's drive. And I don't really go there. The traffic's horrible, but my friends didn't know that. And so I wake up, it's Sunday morning. I am still having my coffee. I'm half asleep. And I don't remember how many alerts I had. "Erin, are you okay? Are you all right? Talk to us." And I'm going, "What the heck?" And so I started investigating, and that's when I see what happened. And my activism started that afternoon because what I saw was a wonderful outpouring of compassion from the gun community. And I saw people who, well, if the media is to be believed, all gun owners are hardcore conservative heterosexual white men who hate gay people. I mean, that's what the line is, right? That's what we've been told. And I saw these gun owners who allegedly hate gay people, and they were saying, "Hey, if you want to learn how to use a firearm to defend yourself so that this doesn't happen to you, I will take you. I mean, I don't care what your politics are. I don't care who you sleep with or what you have between your legs. You are a human being. Your life is precious. It's worth defending. And because I believe in that, I will not only teach you how to use a gun, but I will take you to the range and I will pay for everything." And that's really significant. I mean, we may not think of it now because we're all gun owners, but if you are thinking about getting into a hobby, one of the first things you do is you look at what the entry to it is. I mean, okay, if you're making model airplanes, the barrier to entry is what? A $10 model, some glue, and a model knife. It's not that big of a deal. And so if you decide this isn't for me, you're basically out a lunch or something. On the other hand, if you're wanting to get into drones, what, 50, $100 to start? That's a significant barrier. And so firearms are like that, because if you don't own a gun and you go to a place where you can rent it, so all right, you go up, you have to pay the range fee, you have to rent the gun, you have to buy the ammo, you have to rent the iPro and AirPro because you didn't know you needed it, and then you have to pay for the targets. And that's a significant investment. And a lot of people who might be on the edge, who you could conceivably convert, will go, "No, this isn't worth it." So if you say everything is free, well, now it's like when the ice cream man gives you that first scoop, because it's a treat. There is no risk. And all right, if you decide you don't like it, you haven't lost anything. And so it was just beautiful the way that I saw these conservative people who are saying, I will pay for everything. Just come and I'll teach you." But the problem with social media is that we all live in our own little echo chambers. And so this beautiful gesture would not be seen. However, since I had my foot in both camps, I figured, well, I could just sort of bridge that gap. And I started putting together a list of all of the gun owners who were offering to teach queer people how to use guns. And I was posting it so that hopefully the queer people could see it. And it exploded from there. And so we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary. We have over 1,650 some odd trainers in every single state of the union. every major metropolitan area. We've got 5 in Canada, 3 in Australia. I mean, we are international, and we are growing the gun community by lowering that bar and telling people, demonstrating to them that gun ownership is not a white thing, it's not a male thing, it's not a conservative thing, it's an American thing, and it belongs to everyone, including queer people.
Exactly. I mean, I completely agree with that. I mean, I completely agree with that. 'Cause
Absolutely.
we actually had looked at that because we looked up the percentage of the U.S. that's actually white men, and was it middle-aged white men, or did we just look up white men? Either way, of just the United States, and it's like only 30%. So when you're talking about the fight to keep our rights for our 2A, our Second Amendment rights, if there's only 30% of the U.S., if that's all they think is fighting for this, do you really think we're going to keep it?
Well, no, I don't think so at all. And that's why I think it's very important to make the Second Amendment as big tent as possible. And we do that by making gun organizations as big tent as possible. And we also have to internally police ourselves so that we don't drive people away. And I know that there are some listeners who are bristling. What do you mean by police ourselves? Well, just as an example, in some gun shows, not all, there will be someone selling Confederate flags. Now, I am Texan by birth. I understand the heritage aspect of this.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have many Black friends who look at that and go, I do not feel welcome here. I do not feel safe here. And so if you are looking to grow the gun community by adding Black people to it, you need to be aware of this and maybe go, the person selling Confederate or Nazi memorabilia really shouldn't be here. And it's just something to keep in mind.
Interesting. I mean, I guess I don't look at it that way, but I guess it's because it's something that I don't think one way or the other about usually, because it's not something that I'm typically looking at. But I could see how that would affect somebody. I could totally see that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I can understand that. So, interesting. Now, you yourself, aren't you an instructor?
Well, I'm an instructor in the same way that all responsible gun owners are instructor. I don't yet have my NRA certification, but
Okay.
I have taught people how to shoot. I mean, it happens every day.
Yeah.
You are a responsible gun owner. You can take your child, your spouse, your significant other, and you can teach them the basics. You teach them the 5 rules of gun safety. You teach them the basic, brass: breathe, release, aim, squeeze, shoot. There are things that you can do, and you can teach people, well, how to render a gun safe. You teach them range etiquette. You teach them all these things, and you don't have to be an expert. Just, give them that taste, and from there, they can make an informed decision.
Mm.
So I'm an instructor in that regard.
Yes.
I am not a professional. I do not have my certification yet, but I have taught people.
Okay. Well, I mean, I learned, my youngest daughter is who helped me learn how to shoot. So,
Wow.
yes, because, yeah, well, I mean, it was just easier. So that's who I learned with the 4-H kids. So, yeah. So I get that. I totally get that. Jessie, you got anything at the moment for her?
Yes. In your opinion, what issues have been seen in the 2A community that need to be addressed as priority in order to build the 2A community and make it stronger for all members?
So you're basically asking me how the 2A community can grow by reaching out to the non-mainstream.
Yes.
Okay, let me get on my soapbox.
Climb right on, girl.
Get on up there, honey.
All right. So, let's just do some back of the envelope calculations here. Last time I checked, there were a self-reported amount of about 30% of all Americans being gun owners. Now, self-reported is important to note because, if Joe Rando calls me up and asks me if I have a gun, I'm probably going to say none of your business.
Mm-hmm.
So there may very well be more, but we'll just go with 30% because it's a nice round number and it ties into the other numbers. Now, the last time I checked, the population of the United States was roughly 300 million. So 30% of 300 million is roughly 100 million. So that gives us a nice working round number of 100 million gun owners that we know of in the United States. Now, the NRA is the largest gun organization out there. There are others. There's Redneck Revolt. There's the John Brown Gun Club. There's the Liberal Gun Club. But they pale in comparison, numbers-wise, membership-wise, to the NRA. Now, how many members does the NRA have? As of this year, they've got 6 million. So they aren't even within scratching range of 10% of the number of gun owners out there. There is a huge underserved population of gun owners. And if the current population, the membership of the NRA, can make politicians nervous, an NRA membership of 100 million would make them just completely poop their pants. But we don't have that. Why don't we have that? Well, it's because, and this gets back to that cultural perception, it's because there is this tie between gun ownership and conservatism. And we're seeing the after effects, the bad effects of that with what's going on in the NRA right now. And I will spare you the analysis of the whole NRA versus Ackerman McQueen. I mean, I know a fair bit about it. Not really pursuant to this, but the problem is that NRA TV is going further and further and further right. And they decided, for reasons unknown to me, that they would try and bundle gun ownership with other conservative issues. And so if you are a gun owner, then you are quite clearly a conservative, and you are anti-abortion, and you are anti-immigration, and you are pro this and you are anti that. And a lot of gun owners started to say, well, I'm pro Second Amendment, but I'm not pro any of this other stuff. And so they feel that they aren't being represented and they drift away. And so this is a little microcosm of what's going on with the gun community as a whole. There is this cultural perception that the Second Amendment, that firearms ownership is the province of one particular group of people, when it shouldn't be seen that way. I mean, we don't have a club for gay First Amendment enthusiasts. Why? Because we see that the First Amendment applies to all Americans. And really, the best way to open up membership is to remove a lot of the cultural attachments to it. Firearm ownership and responsible use should be seen as not a white thing, a conservative thing. It should be seen as an American thing. And so we need to actively decouple all of the other garbage from it. And just as an example, because the NRA is my current favorite whipping boy, they need to return to their core mission of Second Amendment advocacy and firearms education, and just jettison all of the other things. And so if you want to appeal to a broad group of people, if you want to grow the community, then you need to separate all of the cultural baggage away from this and just talk about, well, shooting guns is fun. I mean, you go to the range, you have fun. I've never met anyone who had fun at an anti-gun rally. There are no anti-gun ranges. You go there, you're going to have fun. And because we all know about the new shooter grin, right? So, you know, we take people and we give them that experience, and then we make them as welcome as possible instead of being this tight-knit community that's very protective and, you know, all the gear snobs and, oh, well, you did this, well, I'm going to look down on you. We need to be more welcoming. And I could go on, but I think I've rambled enough. So if you have a follow-up, go ahead and ask.
Do you have something? Because I'm totally loving that last response. I'm sorry.
Honey, she knows what she's talking about. Yeah. No, I was totally stuck on the new shooter grin thing at the very end. Got me. I was just loving that. Because I think she's absolutely right. I know I'm not ever going to be an instructor or anything like that, but I think it's real important, you know, for people to go out and shoot, and if they go out and they're having fun, I think that's what we need to take it back to.
I personally can totally agree that it is fun, because my husband and I, we do date night at the gun range, and we have our time together, and it usually involves guns of any kind, whether it's cleaning them, shooting them, or doing stuff for our channels with them. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm I'm sorry. I'm just a little still
right.
in awe of it.
Now I met you. Well, I met you the second time at the fashion show. The conceal is
fashion show. Yes.
Yes, the conceal is revealed, and you had a conceal carry purse.
No.
Or was it a bag?
It was a sling bag.
A sling bag.
Yeah, the one with the one strap and you rotate it around.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that I wished I could have taken that home. I really like that one. It was by Gun Totin' Mamas. I don't remember the model, but it's on my page.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know I have a video. I'm just not I have not taken the time to sit down and break that video down yet, because it was an hour long, so it was a little much. But what is your actual daily carry? How do you conceal carry?
Well,
in Florida, I don't know what y'all are able to do. There you go.
All right. Well, in Florida, we can carry just so long as it is covered. It's okay. We can print like crazy. In fact, that has led some wags to create what's known as the gun sock. And so what they do is they have an outside the waistband open carry, and then they put this sock over it. And it's not really a sock. It's more like a drawstring bag. And then stenciled on the bag is a picture of a gun. So it is obvious to everyone that is in fact a gun, but it meets the letter of the law for concealment, because all you see is a picture of a gun and it's printing, but you don't see the actual gun, so it's okay.
And it's called the gun sock?
I don't know if that's its actual term. A lot of people just call it that. I think maybe the proper term is the freedom cover or something like that. Okay. I would have to go to the Florida Carry Facebook group and look through it, because they sell it there.
Okay.
So yeah, we can print like crazy, and we're also protected in case we accidentally briefly reveal, like, you know, the wind catches our cover garment, or we have to stretch to reach something. And I understand that's actually a better carry arrangement than y'all have in Texas, because you're not even allowed to print. Am I right?
Oh no, we have open carry.
You do?
Yes.
Oh yes, and it's awesome.
We have open carry here.
Oh, it's open carry with a permit though, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. It's It's Oklahoma that went to constitutional carry.
Yes.
Okay. I remember when Oklahoma went to open carry, and I thought, Texas can't be far behind, because if there's one thing I know about Texans is that they will not let the Okies show them up about anything. And it took y'all, I don't know, 3-4 years, but you finally went open carry. Now Oklahoma's constitutional carry, and I'm wondering how long it's going to take y'all to get that way.
Yeah, my husband would know more about that than what I do.
Okay.
I'm not as up on all of that as yeah.
Okay, so my daily wear when I leave the house, and I will admit that I don't leave the house a whole lot because I'm a writer and I love my air conditioning and it's hot in Florida. So I don't leave unless I have to. But when I have to, normally I will just put my gun belt on, and then I'll pull my sweatpants up over it and then my t-shirt over the rest of it. And I don't care if I print.
Mhm.
Now, my carry gun used to be a Glock 26, and I still have it, but I started getting horrible back pains. And so I still haven't completely figured out what's causing it, posture, some of it, but also just, it was a somewhat heavy gun. And so in order to prevent the ache but still be armed, I switched to a Colt Mustang Pocket Light, which is basically a scaled down 1911 chambered in 380. And so that's a lot lighter, and that's really helped my back problems.
The Colt Mustang.
Love the Colt Mustang, and I love 1911.
Yeah, the Colt Mustang is sweet. He won't let me carry it.
Well, why won't he?
Oh, because the one we have is old, and yeah.
What, he's afraid you're going to break it?
Yeah. I don't know that it's that. I can't remember what caliber it is though either. So I know
Nope.
that when we took it to the gun range, oh my gosh, smooth as butter. I mean, shot so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Especially since my previous exposure to 380 was in a Ruger Bodyguard, which is one of the most unpleasant pistols I have ever shot, because it's mostly polymer. And I was firing, I don't remember the grain weight, but it was some sort of snappy round. And each shot was, like a police officer taking a truncheon to the web between my thumb and forefinger and just whack, hitting me there as hard as he could. And I can shoot about a magazine worth of it, and I'm done. And when I take people shooting, I use it as an example of, there are some guns that are good and some that are bad. And I have them shoot the bodyguard, and I warn them, this is unpleasant. And they rarely make it through the full magazine. Then I bring out the Colt Pocket Light and I say, exact same caliber, exact same rounds. You're going to have a completely different experience. And then they have that, oh my God, it's so smooth. It's so wonderful. Really, the worst thing I can say about the Pocket Light is because it's got such a short barrel, such a short sight radius. And of course, I have really bad eyes, that my aim with it isn't as good as with the longer barrel. Now, I get around that because I've got a little laser designator for it. And so, all right, well, I don't so much use the Erins sights as I use the laser dot. And I can just hear the purists who are, but the laser might break. Well, yeah, it might, but, I take care of my guns. So,
Very good.
I would rather have a tool to help me hit than just, well, I suck at this. Oh, well. And the more I practice with it, the better I get with the Erins sights. So,
Right. Well,
you're going to have to jump in and shut me up, or else I'm not going to keep talking throughout this entire program.
No, because I totally love it. No, I'm loving it.
Yeah, this is one of our favorite times, is when guests sit there and interact and totally give us their perspective. So you are all good, girl.
I'm sharing Blazing Sword. I'm sharing the Facebook page in the chat, the live chat that's going on.
Fantastic.
And I've shared the your website. Now, I know you have a personal a personal YouTube. Is there one for Blazing Sword for YouTube or?
No, there's not. At least not yet. All sorts of things I want to do.
Okay.
But I don't have the time, and in fact, I rarely post things to my YouTube channel anymore.
Facebook probably. Are you on Instagram also?
Well, technically, I can't remember the last time I posted something. I'm just not the picture taking type. I'm really not into selfies.
Okay.
I don't like how I look. So why would I want a record of it?
That sounds like a women thing. Yes. We are all that way. Yes.
That's why I use Snapchat, because even on my worst days, it kind of makes me look a little bit better.
Yeah, that's usually why there's very few pictures ever.
So the only thing I know about Snapchat is that it exists. I have no experience with it. Sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe I know that it's like maybe the younger kids use it and Instagram is for older people. For all I know, the teenagers are using some app I've never heard of before. I'm old, y'all.
Hey. In this room, we're not old, okay?
I still tell my husband I'm in the prime of my youth, so as long as I can get away with that, that's going to be my excuse.
I'm only 21, so I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not going back that far because, my youngest is finally graduated and getting a job. And so, no, we're not going back to 21. I had three babies under the age of 5. No.
In my fantasy, I'm 21 and kidless.
There you go. So, Erin, how long have you been into firearms?
Well, I mean, I was.
Did you grow up shooting or?
No, I grew up around firearms because my father was a career Army officer and we always had guns in the house. And so from a very young age, like 6 or 7, they gave me the safety briefing and I really love the way they did it. So what they did was they got their guns out and I didn't see where they kept them. But they had them on their bed when I was called into their bedroom and they had, of course, been unloaded and the ammunition far away. And my parents came in and they said, well, you're about that age now where you might start exploring and investigating and basically snooping, getting into trouble. And so these are our guns and you are not allowed to touch them when we aren't here. But since we're here right now, go ahead, take a look, ask us anything. And all right, so the first thing I did, I picked it up and I looked down the barrel because that's what kids do. And I got the no, never do that. Well, why not? And I had it explained to me. Oh, okay. And all right, so the guns, they were heavy and they didn't fit my hand and they made boring click sounds when I could pull the trigger. I mean, I couldn't pull the trigger on my father's Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum at all. But my mom had a little Ruger Bearcat 22, which I now own. And all right, so it made a clicking sound. And, it didn't make the pew pew sounds like my toys. And it wasn't a fun color. And it was just sort of, well, okay. All right, so it's a boring, heavy adult thing. I'm bored now. Can I go play? Yeah, sure. And, I went off, they put the guns away, and really that was it. I did not have any interest in them. Now, unlike a lot of military people, I didn't grow up shooting them because my father was very, very busy with his career. So I really didn't shoot anything until my adolescence. And, on various scouting trips. And let's see, just after I had graduated high school, I was getting ready to enter college on an ROTC scholarship. And my history teacher, who was an Army veteran, decided that he would get me ready for ROTC by taking me to the range. And so he had me well, he taught me how to shoot and operate his AR-15. And so while I was in ROTC, I shot it a few times to qualify. And then I was medically discharged, which was unfortunate because, all this time it's just, I want to be in the Army. I want to serve my country. Well, you can't do that anymore. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know what to do. And honestly, from my teenage years up until about my 30s, I was just a hot mess of hormones and depression. And so it was probably good that I didn't have access to firearms because, well, I mean, there were times where I felt suicidal. I never made a suicide attempt.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it a lot. And really what it came down to was a combination of this will hurt and I don't like pain and this will really crush my family. So then I would beat myself up. I'm such a failure. I can't even kill myself properly. So I don't know that I would have shot myself if I had had a gun, but let's just say that it probably would not have been a good, responsible time for me to have one.
Right.
And so then we fast forward until about 2009,
Mm-hmm.
when I really got involved in emergency preparedness, or prepping, as it was known.
Yes.
And I actually got in on it before it became a big money maker and a series of ridiculous TV shows on Discovery Channel.
Right.
But, well, see, I live in Florida and we have
Mhm.
hurricanes and we
Mhm.
have forest fires and we have tornadoes. And I just thought, it probably would be a good idea to be prepared for emergencies. And so I started preparing for hurricanes and fires and what if I have to evacuate. And as this progressed, as I studied, well, all right, what else do I need to be prepared for? I started seeing a repetition of certain themes. Like, well, I need to be prepared for injury, like a car wreck or if someone assaults me. So I've got a first aid kit. I've got a tourniquet with me.
Mhm.
And I need to be prepared in case someone tries to hurt me. And so, all right, well, let's get a gun. Well, first of all, let's get a 22
Mhm.
because I can use that, to harvest small game and it'll be good practice. And so I bought a bolt action 22 and had fun. And then I've got to buy more. And my second gun was a Mosin Nagant because they were cheap and they were fun. And I knew that I couldn't screw them up because if the Russians made a rifle that an illiterate Russian conscript couldn't destroy, it would be fine. I would be a tender, considerate lover in comparison. And so, and of course, the ammo was dirt cheap at the time. And so, okay, I've got a little plinking gun and I've got a big serious gun.
Mhm.
Maybe I should get a pistol. And it just went from there. I got a pistol, I got a concealed carry permit. Well, now I need a shotgun.
Mhm.
Well, now I want this other caliber. Now I want this. Now I want that. I mean, once you start buying guns, you want more.
Of course. I know that's how my other half operates.
Well, how about you? Don't you operate the same way?
Well, okay. So I didn't grow up around firearms at all. And I didn't even start shooting until it's been about 7 years maybe now, I guess. And again, I started shooting with the 4-H kids. And a couple of years before that, my husband bought me a 22 pistol for Mother's Day. And I was so mad. It took me another couple of years before I'd even touch it.
Why were you mad?
Because he bought me a pistol.
Oh, you were mad because you didn't want a pistol.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't shoot. I mean, I didn't go out and shoot with him. I mean, it wasn't part of my daily routine. It wasn't part of who I was. It wasn't part of me.
Okay.
At what point did he think buying me a pistol was
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you your business, but it sounds to me like that was his way of saying, "Hey, honey, let's go shooting together."
Yeah, I don't know that that's what it was, but he shot with he went shooting with the kids, so quite a bit. It all worked out, so no big deal.
All right.
Now I actually just filled out my first 4473 form.
Well,
But
congratulations.
yeah, last weekend, in fact, last Saturday.
Okay.
So it was a little scary. And then that's so silly to say it that way. But for me, it was scary in the sense of that it was almost, I was sitting down at this computer, and in fact, when I started filling it out, I messed up on the first freaking question.
If it makes you feel better, well, definitely the first time I did it, but now I still have a little bit of it every time I fill out the form because we have to fill it out on paper. And when I get it, every time I've got that standardized test anxiety where I go, okay, now I'm doing this in pen, so I can't screw up. So there are some of these that I have to answer yes to, and some that I have to answer no to. And if I answer yes and a no, or a no and a yes, it's gonna be ruined.
Yes.
And in which case it's just, I know logically I mess up, I ask for another one, but there's just that whole anxiety. And so I understand being stressed out.
But it's on the computer. And what if it asks me if my eyes are blue and they're actually brown? Which it's not going to ask you. That's not one of the questions. But it asks my height, and I put 5'5". But what if I'm technically 5'3.5"?
The answer is that you pull out your driver's license and you answer what's on the driver's license.
And you know what? I didn't do that, but it better be 5'5". So I like your response, but there's just something about it that, and seriously, the first question on it and on the computer, it wouldn't let me, it was either my first name first or my last name first. And whichever it was, I did it wrong. Just right off the bat, put the wrong whatever. And I started freaking out. I'm like, oh no, oh my God. And I couldn't fix it. Like, it wouldn't let me tab back or click on that space. All I could do is move forward. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do with this? I can't fix this. And there's a cancel button at the bottom. And I just canceled out of it. And all it did is took me out of the entire form, and I had to just start over. But on question 1, I couldn't even answer what my name was right. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. But, and the whole process, I mean, but they were having a customer appreciation day, and I actually videoed it, and the whole process took me 12 minutes. But that's also because I actually read off the questions while I was videoing it, just to kind of do it in real time because I'm still learning. And that's kind of one of the things about my channel and stuff is I want to show those other women out there, hey, this seems scary, but it's really not. I mean, I screwed it up. I mean, and I'm fine. They didn't come cart me away. All I had to do is exit out of it and start over. I mean, I had to sit there a few minutes, but the lady behind the counter, she was helping someone else. So I had to wait for her to finish helping him while it was spinning, because she has to hit a button for it to process it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just took me a little longer. That's all. And it was fine. So, I mean, I've technically not actually bought my first gun yet. And that's the first, that was the first time for the 4473 for me. So I have a lot of first going on. Yeah.
It's awesome though.
Well, thank you. I'm glad somebody thinks so. When you see me have my little freak out moments and stuff,
but
I don't.
Being there, I totally get it, because when I bought the shotgun, it is like having test anxiety, because you're going through this computer and you're like, what is my name? What is my driver's license? I don't remember what street I live on. How am I supposed to fill this out? I totally went through panic mode myself, so I get it.
So what gun were you filling out the 4473 for?
Oh, well, CMMG sent me a Banshee AR pistol in 9mm.
Oh, nice.
Yes, to do some T&E on. So,
Mm-hmm.
and so I
The
do
hardest
actually.
part of any T&E is sending it back.
That is. I have a feeling this one may not go back.
Well, I mean, that's always an option, and they're always happy to sell it to you. And I'm certain, well, I'm not like 100%, but I'm like 90% certain that if you decide to buy it, they will knock off a fair amount because, well, it's used.
Right.
But still, yeah, that does get rather expensive.
Yes. Well, the video to that, because I've only shot it once so far. Between working and I had my grandkids one day, and then it rained, so it's been a little crazy. I've only got to shoot it once, but it was awesome. And the video to that is actually on my Instagram and it's on my YouTube, so that's pretty cool. It was awesome. I'm excited to do it again. Hopefully, I get to go out and shoot again tomorrow. Weather
Fingers
permitting.
crossed, weather works with you.
Exactly. The only thing about Texas right now is it's already hot. It's so hot. Ugh.
I'm just going to laugh at you in Floridian.
Yeah, okay.
I would almost rather take the heat over how much rain Michigan's been getting here lately.
Stacey, you've been really, really quiet. Do you have any questions for Erin? Maybe.
Sorry, my internet's been in and out.
Gentle.
No, my internet's been in and out. I tried to reset it before the show, and it's still kind of just iffy here and there. So I don't want to have to exit the show to try and get on it and see what was going on with it. But so yeah, sometimes it's roboting a little bit, but so yeah, if I've been quiet, it's because the internet's been kind of bad.
That's all right. Do you have any questions for Erin? Any comments, questions?
I did earlier, and I couldn't think now what it is. Give me a second, and I'll try and think of it again. I'm getting old. I really am.
Oh, and by the way, Erin, we all three of us gun gals, we all live in the country. So when we talk about our internet or something, it's because we all live in the sticks.
I actually drove to town tonight just so I could be on the show and not be roboting. So,
well, usually ours does fairly decent, but I know we had some more storms last night and the night before, so I don't know if that's affecting it a little bit. But it's kind of been in and out. It'd do all right for a few minutes, and then it's back out, and then it's just kind of just up and down.
And Erin, someone in the chat, I want to say unknown user did, maybe, suggested, and you already know that I said something to you about this before, suggested getting you and Tony on here together.
Oh, honey, if you get Tony Simon and me in the same just don't bother to show up. It's just the two of us. We will talk and laugh and have a good time, and y'all won't be able to get a word in edgewise, and we'll probably run for about 2-3 hours.
See, I told you, because I sent her that message. She wanted to know, am I the only one on? Well, no, there are 3 of us, and then you would join us. But if you want, I can see if Tony would join us. She's like, oh, no, that would no.
Well, I mean, I don't mean the bad way. Look,
you did not say it in a bad way at all. But yeah, if we wanted to talk, she was like, no. Anyway.
I love Tony to death. I've got some pictures of him with me at at NRA, and we're just goofing off. And he is just one of the friendliest, cuddliest people I've ever met. And he puts me at ease. And because I'm at ease, I can joke with him. And we all have a blast, and we say some terrible things. I mean, not like rude, but it's just, if you are around Tony, I can almost guarantee you will feel like you've known him forever.
Yes.
And you'll just start talking like your old friends, and you'll just be, the way close friends are when you say all sorts of rude and unrepeatable things to each other, and it's all meant in love. And that's him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, I kind of threw you off guard a little bit when I met you at NRA. Not everybody knows that, I guess.
Well, I mean, I'm not used to people coming up to me and going, "Oh my God, are you Erin Paulette?" Yes. Are you a stalker?
Which is not what she said.
No, it's not what I said, because I was being polite, but I was thinking it good and hard.
And I hadn't even heard of you until the week of NRA, by the way. But it was just reading through your stuff. I mean, it was just so amazing, and just the things that you were doing. And I know it's one of those things, some of us set out on a path, and some of us are kind of thrown into one. And I mean, you have taken what you were supposedly thrown into, and you have done so well with it. And
thank you.
I think that's amazing. So.
And you've definitely been an inspiration to a lot of people. I think that's what's amazing, is that you are someone that a lot of people can look up to and know that they're not alone. And yeah, we really think what you're doing is amazing.
Thank you. I'm not really sure how to reply to that.
Just say thank you and smile.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So I do have a really quick question, because I do love the fact that you like the Colt Mustang and you like the small 1911s. What is your favorite shop to shop for gun accessories at? Whether it's holsters or purses or whatever fits your fancy.
Well, I'm not sure that I have a favorite, because if I'm looking for all right, so Brownells is good for all around things. It's basically the Amazon for gun stuff, but it doesn't have everything. But I always check there first. For holsters, I would just have to Google. All right, well, I'm feeling very particular. Let's see this place. Do they have what I want? Do they have a price that I like? Because I'm cheap. As
I like her.
My concealed.
I do too.
My concealed carry purses, I got off Amazon. Well, I mean, I did some research, and oh gosh, I'm completely blanking on the name, but they looked all right, and I ordered them. It's like, yeah, this will work. I mean, off-body carry is not ideal, but there are some times if you're wearing a cute outfit, you can't wear it anywhere else. So it's better just to have a gun, even if it's off-body, than not to have it. I am very interested, and this is not yet an endorsement, but I've met the employees, I've met the owner, I've seen the product. But there's something called Asphalia Designs, Asfalia. They're in Knoxville, Tennessee, and they are making concealed carry purses with ballistic panels. And I don't know the secret of the manufacturing the ballistic panels, but they're very lightweight. And so you've got not just a way to carry your gun, but also some degree of protection. And they make other things as well. They've got a backpack that has a ballistic insert. And so the owner has promised me that once they get all the kinks worked out of a particular design, he'll send it to me and I can T&E it. And I look forward to that because it looks really nice. Okay, So I'm going to talk them up a little bit. With other concealed carry purses, you either have some sort of a Velcro closure or you have a zipper. It's not anything you can access quickly. What Asphaleia Designs does, they secure entry by magnets. And so it holds the flap securely closed, but you can very quickly, with the sweep of your hand, you sweep up the flap and you open it, and then your hand goes down in and you can pull the gun out. And I've never seen any other company do that. I thought that was just tremendously innovative because it's fast, it's easy, and it holds it securely. So I'm really looking forward to testing theirs because they've got some really great ideas, and I love neat new ideas, and I really want their neat ideas to work.
Right.
But because I haven't tested it, I can't say for certain, but it looks so cool.
Yeah, the concept of that would be really cool. I mean, I've used my concealed carry purse this weekend, but yeah, it's got a zipper and it's got Velcro on the inside. So yeah, something like that would be awesome.
I just shared their link in the chat too.
Great.
Yes, because it's the ballistic armor, which is a lot of. Isn't that what they're talking about for backpacks and stuff for kids nowadays?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have grandbabies in school, but yeah.
And in fact, because you linked to that, if y'all scroll down, there are 2 videos at the bottom.
Yes, I'm looking at them.
And the one that says ballistic armor test.
He's got a purse wrapped on a dummy.
Mm-hmm. The gentleman there, he's actually wearing a Blazing Sword t-shirt, and he has helped me. He helps moderate the Blazing Sword Facebook page, and he does a lot of things. He's basically a volunteer employee, and he's really helped me a lot. So,
oh, that's awesome.
And that's how I came to know about this. Just someone who has helped me in the past. He's also working for them. So, any chance I get to help him out, I will do so because he's been such a big help to me.
Well, here's the question. If anybody wanted to help further your
mission?
Yes, there you go. I was floundering there. Your mission, is there a way that they could help?
Well, yes, there are various ways you can help. You can spread the word. And that's really a problem because the people who really need to hear our message aren't hearing it. There are some queer communities in big cities that just they haven't heard the message because I can't get to them. And so anyone who shares a link, talks about us, hands out business cards, they're helping spread the word. And just anything that gets our name to the eyes and ears of those who hunger for knowledge, that's great. Another thing you can do is you can volunteer to be a volunteer. You can contact us and you can be one of our instructors. And we don't ask for a whole lot. Just basically, if you feel like you can safely teach someone just the pure basics of firearms safety and operation, and you're willing to pay for their range fees and their ammunition and, bring along the guns and an extra set of eyes and ears and targets and things like that. And you really don't have to do a whole lot. Some people think that we're asking them to pay for an entire range day, and that's not true. Just basically about a magazine's worth of ammunition.
Yeah.
Just enough to get rid of that fear of the unknown.
Yes.
So that they can make an informed decision. And if they say this is not for me, well, that's fine, because they now aren't going by what they've been told, but they're making a decision based on their own experience. But most people will go, this is fun. This is empowering. I'd like to know more.
Yes.
And once they like to know more, then, okay, well, how about you help defray the cost? I would also like to point out that because Blazing Sword is a 501c3 charity, It means that helping out is a charitable contribution, and you can actually write it off on your taxes. Now, there's some verbiage which I don't have committed to memory, but it comes to something like this. First of all, save your receipts. Secondly, as long as your expenses are under $250, you can just claim it if you itemize it. And if your expenses are over 250, like for some reason you take a dozen people, which is great, then you go ahead and email me, and I will write you a receipt for that. And then that way you can have a receipt on our corporate letterhead that you can show to the IRS. And so to volunteer, you can contact us via our Facebook page, which Armintha, you very nicely linked in chat, or you can email me. That's Erin, ERIN, at blazingsword.org. And just in order to speed things along, give me it doesn't even have to be your name, just the name you want listed on our website. Your city and state and a means to contact you, whether it's email or cell phone or, I don't know, Facebook chat, just something like that. And finally, you can donate money to us, which we need because we don't have big corporate donors. We are not funded by Michael Bloomberg. And so everything we've done has been through private donation by people like you folks. Mm-hmm. And so there is, I believe, a donation button on our website. But there's also, I've got to find it here.
Oh, there is a donate button. It's up at the top.
Oh, perfect.
There is.
But I'm also thinking that there's like a paypal.me link. And I'm looking that up as I talk.
There is, and I will type it in the chat real quick.
Oh, perfect.
I've already typed in your email address down there.
Oh, wonderful. So there you are. So there you are. 3 ways you can help Operation Blazing Sword.
Well, I think this has been an amazing chat this evening, and I think we're definitely going to love to have you back if you would like to join us again.
Oh, I would love to join you.
Awesome. This has been awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having a hard time because I can't talk and type.
Right, so you go ahead and type, and you have one of your other hosts take us out.
Come on, Jessie. Go for it.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and wind things down for the evening. Let's run through the panel one last time. What you got going on, Erin, that you would like to share with our audience?
Well, what I've got going on. Well, Blazing Sword has been very, very busy, and I can't go into it in detail as we're coming out. One of the most important things we've done is Pink Pistols, which merged into us last year, wrote an amicus curiae brief in support of the lawsuit against New York City and their rather draconian gun transport laws. And we wrote that on behalf of NYSERPA, that's the New York State Rifle and Pistol Shooting Association. And so that's something that I'm very proud of. The conclusion is just bang on. It's fantastic. The next thing I'm doing is end of June. I will be in Chattanooga for Liberty Con, and I'm going to be spreading the word about Blazing Sword there. And I'm also going to be the subject of a photo shoot by guns.com. Jackie Billings, I believe, is the lady who will be taking my picture. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm not sure what else I've got going on during the summer, but in late September, I don't remember the exact date. I want to say it's in the early 20s, but in late September, I will be in Phoenix for the Gun Rights Policy Conference, GRPC. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be speaking. I've spoken the last 2 years. They're probably going to invite me again, but I haven't officially been invited. But either way, I will be there. I'll be spreading the word. If you want to come meet me, I'll give you my card. I'll give you a hug if you're a hugger like I am. And I will just be happy to meet with folks.
Absolutely.
You got to
Very
be there.
cool.
I mean, it's a bit of a drive, but you drove up to Indy, so you can drive to Phoenix, can't you, Armintha?
Well, we have to wait and see, because I've taken off between SHOT Show and Tulsa twice, and then Indy. Yeah, I'm only allowed so many vacation days a year.
Mm.
I have to see where it fits. We'll see. I
Okay.
make no promises.
How about the rest of y'all? I mean, I know Armintha lives in Texas. I don't even know what state y'all. What? No, one of you's in Michigan.
Yes, I'm in Michigan, and my kids will actually be starting. Well, my son will be starting kindergarten, so me being able to leave might be a little difficult, but that might give me an excuse to just homeschool them so I can free up my schedule.
And I'm in Oklahoma, so
Well, you might be able to make it.
yeah, that's what I think 18 hours, 17, 18 hours.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a drive because I'm
Okay.
5.
Here,
I'm a little, 6 hours, I guess, or better, the other side of Stacey.
all right, so here we go. A GRPC 2019, Phoenix, Arizona, at the Sheraton Crescent on September 20th through the 22nd.
My husband's out there hollering more rental points. He's all about going.
Well, my birthday is September 21st, so I think that would be a really awesome birthday gift, in my opinion. I need to get my husband on that one.
All right, Tardot. There you go. All right.
So,
Stacey.
let's.
Stacey,
What you got going on, Stacey?
Not really too much. I mean, it's rained so much. We've had so much flooding and everything else, so can't really go out there and do any videos because it's, a pond out there. So, trying to go back to work and all that. So, other than that, waiting for my husband to get home. So we have 30 minutes together, maybe, before our anniversary is technically over at midnight. Maybe.
You gonna be in trouble?
Oh no, he's been in St. Louis, that training thing. So, I already figured he'd be in late. So, no, it was a good experience for him.
And what you got going on, Armintha?
Pew, 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 pew.
Okay, well, now I have to ask, is it Arminthia or Armintha?
It's Arminthia. I was named after my great-great-grandmother, and the running joke is that my mother and grandmother argued over how to spell it when I was born.
Well, yeah.
Either way, I lost.
I was about to say, you say Arminthia, but I'm looking at your Facebook right now, and it says Armintha. So, WTF?
Either way, I lost. I'm one of 4 and the only one with something weird. Okay? So, yeah, I get the whole WTF. I get it. Believe me, I get it. So, anyway. But it's Arminthia. Anyway.
Okay. No, it isn't the name. It's the whole, but it doesn't have the extra I. Spell it with the extra I.
It's been that way for 42 years. You hear me? It's going to be that way for the rest of them.
Okay.
Tomato, tomato. She'll answer to anything as long as it's nice.
Well, yeah. I'm going to leave that alone. Anyway, today was my Friday, so I have a couple of days off, and then I have to go back to work for a couple of days, and then I'm off. So I have to go apartment hunting with my daughter one day this week. But other than that, I plan on getting out and throwing some rounds down range. I got talked through how to sight in my pistol, so that's going to be interesting. I'm going to do that, so I'm pretty excited. I've got lots of stuff that's coming out. Plus, I got mail that I plan on opening tomorrow. So
I am super excited for you. This is going to be awesome.
So, yeah. I have what? Girl, I still have videos dropping. So, I should have a new one drop tomorrow.
Sweet.
I think. I'm saying that I'm trying to figure out which one I'm dropping. I think it's Swagger Bipods. Oh, but before I even forget that, Walk the Talk America will be with us next week. So for those of you that are still watching, Michael Sedini will be with us next Sunday with Walk the Talk America. So look forward to that.
I just thought of something.
What's up?
I want your listeners to know that I am the co-host of a Second Amendment podcast. It's called Assorted Calibers Podcast, or ACP. And you can find us at assortedcalibers.com. We've got a new episode that drops every Monday, and it's free. And you can find us on iTunes and Podkicker and all the other Stitcher and things like that. Or you can just go to the website and you can listen. And it's basically a Second Amendment variety show where we talk about the issues of the day as they relate to gun ownership. But also, here's a topic that might be relevant to gun owners. Here's Oddball to talk about knife rights and things like that. And just, I know that my co-host would be upset if I didn't mention it. So there you go.
Awesome. So y'all be sure and check that out. All right. What about you, Jessie?
I have a whole bunch of nothing other than packing going on for the next week or so.
Just shaking my head.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm leaving the boonies because I can't stand the terrible internet service anymore. I'm going back to the city. I got to go back to the city. But other than that, if you're new to Gun Gals, we would like to invite you to like our Facebook page. And don't forget, we are also on Instagram. And real quick, a huge shout out to Gun Channels. If you haven't yet, check it out. Gun Channels is an online two-way community where we can share and connect with other like-minded members. We stream live there as well as here every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have you heard of GunStreamer? We're also over there, and it's awesome. Go check them out. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Gun Gals Live. Next week, we will be talking about Walk the Talk America. We would love your input from what content you would like to see from our live show and for the rest of our channel. You can share your thoughts and ideas or just send us some love at info@gun-gals.com. Good night, y'all, and we'll see y'all on the next video.
Oh, before we leave, I did drop the link to Assorted Calibers podcast.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good night, all.